I'm leaning on the lamppost.
Hello and welcome to the LampPod. It is me, Sam, and you,
Neil. Hello.
and this is the 28th,
28th, I think.
29th,
Our
27th.
second recorded
Yes.
via the camera. We now have a new camera, which is hopefully more bearable to watch.
Yeah, hopefully. We're trying to work out the kinks still. We're still not really
Yeah,
entirely
we're not sure
what
what sort of frame rate this is recording in right now. Cause
Yeah.
it's kind of, we've got a delayed
Delay,
happening,
yeah.
which is kind of weird because we're doing hand actions, then we see them happen again.
Yeah, which
So,
is always useful,
Yeah.
I guess.
But yeah, we've actually got news to talk about this week.
Yeah.
We've not seen anything. We're not reviewing anything. So
we're back to a regular LampPod. Back to
the old formula
Yeah.
that we never had.
But yeah, there's no formula.
We never did have a
There's
formula.
no secret recipe.
There's no Krusty Krab. There's no Krabby Patties.
Crush-
I wish there was.
Krabby-
Don't
that
you
would
think
be great.
Krabby Patties look like the best thing in the world?
They do, but then you remember it's just a cartoon drawing of a burger.
Yeah,
And
but
you're sort of
still,
like,
I'm still like, I want one.
yeah. I think every kid was like, the thing is, I hadn't had a burger when I first watched
SpongeBob.
SpongeBob, so I was like, I've never ever tried one of these things, which is probably why it looked so much nicer.
Yeah, because you're like, oh well, it's just sort of meat, isn't it?
Yeah, and especially the episode where Squidward becomes addicted to them.
Yeah.
That was like the episode where I was like, I need to eat
children.
Krabby Patties because they're just so delicious looking.
Mm-hmm.
How he just bites off a little bit and it's just, that's ridiculous.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully this week there won't be a sort of cut midway through where.
Yeah, let's hope so. We don't know if this different program we're using will cut off in 5 seconds or 10
By
or
program we mean just the regular recording
The
thing
default.
that comes with Windows.
Yeah, default.
Not even
thing.
Windows 10, Windows 8.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm yet to update.
Outrageous.
I'm scared of the update, to be honest. I
That
think
is-
I've got it like it's happening on Saturday. I think it's like
Oh.
we're doing this.
We're doing it. We don't care what you say.
Yeah,
Like.
we're not allowing. So I'm afraid to sort of restart my laptop. at the
Screw
moment.
your choices.
But yeah,
We're giving you 10.
So there was sort of news that happened last week that we didn't talk about because it was just sort of a bit
Yeah.
meh.
It was a bit Ghostbustery. It was a
So-
Ghostbuster week.
Yeah, so we've sort of got 2 weeks worth of things to talk about.
Okay.
So let's talk about what I think is the oldest news on here. Pokemon. Possibilities of a live-action Pokemon movie.
Yeah, you
Off
see,
the back of Pokemon Go, I'm guessing.
I was excited about this until I found out more. And apparently...
Well, it's not actually been announced yet.
Well, they're trying to sort it out. It's all rumours, but apparently instead of doing a Pokemon, like an actual Pokemon movie, like a live-action one or some kind of computer-animated one, they're trying to make a Detective Pikachu film.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
No.
I know exactly.
What?
There's a game that's out in Japan at the moment called like Inspector Pikachu or something, where basically Pikachu talks. I'm not even joking, not even making this up. Pikachu talks with like a deep Japanese voice. Yeah, like that kind of like crazy,
That's so racist.
deep. That was incredibly. But
It's a line from the game, so sue me.
and for some reason they used like mocap to make him have facial expressions that he could use
That's
in this.
not good.
And it's a 3DS game, and he goes around solving mysteries.
It's not enjoyable for anyone, I don't think.
And apparently, that's the movie they want to adapt into.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Sounds just
Sherlock
awful.
Holmes Pikachu. What a
Jesus
load of
Christ.
rubbish. That's what they want to do.
So yeah, I've got down here that I didn't have anywhere near as much information as you have, so I'm glad you brought that up. I basically just had live action Pokemon from Legendary who are seeking the rights. Which is like, okay, Legendary, cool. Get them into that sort of
Yeah.
world that Legendary sort of have going.
They just, if that is true, it just shows how like out of touch some
Yeah.
Hollywood studios are. They're just like, oh, everyone enjoy Inspector Pikachu. No, just give us a freaking amazing movie
Give us
about
Ash, Brock and the Ginger Girl.
Yeah, Misty. It'd just do that, you know? Everyone wants to see that. And then,
Just give us trainers going around doing their shit. Like,
yeah. Give us...
a couple of battles here and there.
Give us Tom Holland going around as a Pokemon trainer or something. Hey, everyone.
I could have been in Pokemon.
Yeah.
Um,
Could have.
If it wasn't for Tom Holland
Tom Holland
stealing all my
Scream to
stealing
the
all my
heavens.
life. But yeah. So apart from that, another live. I mean, there's not really much to say about it.
No,
I
there's
felt
nothing.
like we've glazed over it, but there isn't really.
And I mean, it's like 2 weeks old news.
Yeah.
So it's you know.
Who cares?
Yeah.
So this is also sort of old news, but we'll probably be able to talk a bit more about this. So X-Men, the next movie is going to be set in the 90s,
Okay.
which is odd because the first one was set in the 60s,
Then
Then the 80s.
80s, yeah.
then
80s again.
yeah.
I think. Was
Well,
it-
no, yeah, Days of Future Past was 70s.
70s and then 80s and now 90s.
So we're just doing 10-year leaps, and in 4 decades they've not changed.
They've not aged
at
at all, no. Because Quicksilver will have been introduced 20 years ago.
Yeah, Quicksilver looked okay. Like, it wasn't a big enough age gap, but it's
No.
still like, okay, that's believable.
But now it's going to be like, well, now he's been established for 20 years.
20 years of...
And like the guy that plays him is like 30, I think,
yeah,
or something.
but he looked young.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, it's
still
not going
does.
to, it's going to just be weird.
Yeah, it's odd. I don't know.
I don't understand, why couldn't they just, because they're obviously like, oh shit, we've now got ourselves into a situation where we want to do modern day superhero movies, but
we're
we've
stuck with this cast
back in the past that we want to use. Because the moment you go back to modern day, everyone's like, well, why don't you just get Patrick Stewart back? And they're like, no, we want to use McAvoy or whatever.
Yeah, because Stewart just doesn't want to do many more.
I would
if
imagine,
any.
like, I'm pretty sure he's doing Wolverine and that'll be it.
Yeah.
I'd imagine.
I think Wolverine's going to be the end of the old cast.
Yeah, it's got to be, right? It's got to be like,
I think once
Final
Jackman
hurrah.
goes, I think the rest of them will probably
yeah, we'll leave with
wander
him.
within a few months type thing.
Yeah, probably. So, like, it's just kind of, so it's, I don't know, why is it so difficult just to do an 80s sequel? Because you've set up that this cast is there now, and they're about to take on the Centurions
Jubilee
as well.
is 80s. Where the fuck's the Gambit movie? That's just hit me. Where the fuck is Gambit?
Yeah. Oh, we're doing this movie.
Isn't that this year?
I don't know.
Wasn't Gambit supposed to be this year? Tell us in the comments if you think Gambit was supposed to be this year, because I thought it was. I swear to God, at the beginning of the year, everyone was like, oh, I can't wait for the Gambit trailer to come out.
Yeah, we were like, oh, we got all these movies this year. It's going to be a crazy
I'm pretty sure
2016.
Gambit fell in there.
Yeah, I think it did.
Where the fuck's Gambit?
It's
No
just-
one's heard from Gambit in ages.
It's just shit. That's what. It's just.
Well, I
terrible.
thought it was going to be good. I knew it had a lot of problems, but I was like, giving it hope.
Who was the guy that was supposed to be playing him?
Channing Tatum.
Channing Tatum. I think Channing Tatum just sort of ran away. He was
He's
like,
probably
you know what?
wandered a little bit. Like,
Yeah. He's probably doing his Men in Black 21 Jump Street crossover film, which sounds much better than a Gambit movie made by
Fair.
Fox, to be honest. Set in the whatever decade they just died. It'd just be set in the 40s for some reason.
Yeah, just set in the 20s. Like,
Yeah, and it just inexplicably shows up in the 90s like, I haven't aged.
I'm Channing Tatum, don't age. Don't age.
Stylish.
Got my gumbo.
Yeah.
Southern Gambit or something.
I don't know, it's just weird.
It is odd.
They haven't got their shit together at all.
But yeah, another sort of risk that Fox is going to take.
Yes.
They've greenlit a live-action TV series.
Yay!
Which is, well, the thing is, I was yay. I was very much yay. But then I found out that it's going to be co-produced by the same guys who were doing the Marvel TV stuff.
Okay.
So like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Agent Carter, and
Oh, right.
possibly the Netflix side of it, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's all roughly the same umbrella,
Yeah.
I think. That is...
So it's going to be co-produced by people who know what they're doing. Which kind of gives it a bit of hope. I've also got, they've got a slight synopsis.
Okay.
So have you heard anything about this?
Not much.
Okay. So
In
the
fact,
synopsis
probably nothing.
reads, this untitled series will focus on two ordinary parents who discover their children possess mutant powers. Forced to go on the run from a hostile government, the family joins up with an underground network of mutants who must fight to survive. So the underground network of mutants is going to be first class, like Charles Xavier, like it's going to be the X-Men before Charles Xavier finds them or whatever.
Okay.
It's going to be like an X-Men without a leader.
Yeah, it's gonna be like, oh, I've heard about the bald guy that's looking for recruits.
Yeah, they're gonna do little references like that, and they're gonna piss everyone off. But that's just how it goes.
I don't know how I feel about this, because Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., for anyone who's seen it, spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't seen it, I know you haven't.
Okay.
in season 2, they established that Inhumans exist.
Yeah,
and the Inhumans at this point have basically become the X-Men of the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
So we've already got an X-Men TV show. Yeah, about agents doing whatever, and then like a few of them have powers and stuff. But it's slowly becoming basically the X-Men, where you get random powers that have no kind of consistency to them. It's just like, oh, this guy turned into a demon squid, and this
the first
person
episode
can
you get this
cause
super
earthquakes.
strong guy who flies. Like.
Yeah, exactly. And and so like it's just like, oh, what cheap superpowers can we do on TV? It's that kind of thing. So that's what this X-Men thing's going to be. There's not going to be any interesting like, oh, this guy can turn into the Hulk, because you can't afford to do that on TV.
It would be cool if this was where they introduced a new Wolverine.
Yeah.
Because I mean, Wolverine's not exactly an expensive CG character
it's just
to do.
claws, isn't it? Yeah.
So it'd be cool if this was where the new Wolverine came into it, not in this like 90s sequel to Apocalypse.
Well, like X-23 or whatever she's called.
Yeah, maybe.
The like clone
Yeah,
of Wolverine.
they announced the female Weapon 23.
Yeah. Yeah, was that
Something.
in the movie they announced they were going to bring... I don't know, I can't even remember.
I think she was mentioned in Apocalypse.
Yeah, probably.
But I think... Or there was like the serum for her in Apocalypse or something.
There's something about...
I think there was definitely an Easter egg.
Yeah.
But they announced that she was going to be brought into it at some point.
Yeah. And I think maybe give her the jump start of doing the TV universe into the movies, because then you could do it better than what Marvel have done, which is S.H.I.E.L.D. reacting to the movies but not doing it the other way around. So you could do that. They could be like, oh, we do it. You know,
we do it backwards.
Yeah, we
do what you do,
in the
but
TV
better.
show, and she's in the movie. So then the people in the movies can be like, oh, she's cool, and see her from that perspective. But people who watch the TV show can get a better backstory on her.
Yeah,
which would be awesome. That'd be great. I'd love to see that.
I'm not yawning because of you. I promise.
We're yawning because X-Men.
Because X-Men tires us. So.
But
but yeah,
not the most. I personally don't find it that interesting.
X-Men altogether is just a bit,
because it always feels like missed opportunities.
Yeah,
it always feels like,
oh, we're trying to be cool, but we don't substantiate why we're doing these things.
It should be, what story can you do where all these characters are important, instead of, oh, well, we have Beast and this guy, how do they fit into this story?
How do they fight at some point?
Yeah, like that. The end of Apocalypse was just boring, because, oh, what's Beast doing? Oh, he's destroying the sand that's holding the people down, and like
so much in that movie.
Yeah, it's just
I saw it, I think 3 times in the end.
Different bits each time, so you've like stitched it together.
The second one I definitely slept through, because I woke up. I fell asleep like during the adverts before it, and I woke up at the "Who the fuck are you?" bit.
Yeah.
With Magneto, and then I sort of watched for a bit. And I fell asleep and woke up, and Charles Xavier was like being put on like the stone thing. I was like, I've missed so much right now.
Wow.
So I'm glad I watched it once and didn't sleep.
That's those are the only 2 important parts of the movie. Who the fuck is this guy? And then Xavier's becoming Poe Dameron. That's it. That's what you need.
I don't know why he doesn't. Anyway, we're not here to rant about how Fox fuck everything up.
Indeed.
We're here to rant about how the Divergent series fucked everything up.
They fucked it up.
They fucked it up big time.
So
big old fuck up.
I can't remember the names of the movies. Was it Divergent and then Ascension?
Divergent, Assurgent. No.
Resurgent.
Insurgent.
I don't know.
Yeah, it was.
It was Insurgent.
Divergent, Insurgent, and Resurgent.
I think Resurgence was... We're thinking of Resurgent because it's Independence Day. Alliance, yeah. Allegiance? I don't know. But basically, so the story on this one is... The last one that came out... So they've done the whole thing where it's like, oh, it's 3 books or 5 books, but the last one gets split into 2 parts. And, like... So they did that for the last one. It came out and it just did shit. It like bombed.
Yeah, because no one cares. Because everyone knows the first one's terrible.
Yeah, like
the first one of a 2-parter is always bad.
Exactly, and like so the story's crap and all this stuff. So I think it's Legendary that do it, and they've shot themselves in the foot because it's rubbish.
Because aren't Legendary now just all monsters?
I think Legendary did do it. Because I can't remember.
We don't care.
But yeah, so basically it came out. It's like screaming children.
Yeah, I know, that's terrifying.
Oh my god.
Someone being murdered?
Oh god. Everyone's dead. Oh, Jesus. No.
Zombie apocalypse. Imagine that.
Yeah.
Oh, we could be the Zomcast.
The Zomcast. Subscribe now. There are some hideous.
Yeah, I know. That's
things going on.
terrifying. We're sorry if you can hear
We're
it.
sorry
I
if
mean,
you can- if
we're
you can.
apologising if you can hear that. It's probably someone being killed, but we're like, no, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, you're ruining our quality content.
Yeah, we could call the police, but you know.
I really hope this is a good frame rate. I feel like it's not going to be.
It's probably not.
I'm scared.
Oh well. But yeah, so it came out. No one saw it. So instead of doing a part 2, they took a break, and now they've decided they're going to release it on television.
Whoa.
Yay!
It's like backwards High School Musical.
It is.
This is what High
It
School
is.
Musical got right.
Yeah. They've descended into like
That's going to be the next
Terrible.
one. It's going to be Descendants.
descendants into just
TV.
pointlessness. Divergent. Terrible.
It's real
Just
bad.
called terrible. But yeah, and then so what they're actually going to plan to do. This is all like this is speculation, not speculation, but it's someone on the inside is supposedly given like Variety or someone
Yeah.
this information. But what they then plan to do is, in the movie on television, is introduce a new cast for for a television show.
Are they going to be playing the same people?
I would imagine so. So like you'll get the big hitters back for one more movie because they're probably contracted to do it. But then you'll introduce
that would
in
be
that.
such a kick in the teeth. For
I know.
for those two people who fucked in the one about cancer. Fault in Our Stars. Aren't they both in the
Yeah, they're both in it.
Divergent
Yeah.
series, but they're brother and sister?
Yeah, so it's kind
Is
of like a
Miles
weird.
Teller still in that?
I think so. He
Because
might have died.
he was
I
in
don't
one
know.
of them,
Yeah.
and then like I feel
just
like
didn't care,
I feel
apparently,
like he
innit?
just didn't want to deal with the others.
No.
I wouldn't.
I hope. Yeah, none of them will come back. They'll just recast it for whatever movie.
I'm fine with that.
But yeah, and then so in that same movie, they're probably gonna like pad it too much with this new television cast that they're gonna introduce in the movie, then lead into a spin-off series, which is gonna be terrible.
Which will have no sort of.
No one will care.
It's not going to have anything to go by, so it's just going to be terrible.
They could potentially try and explain a lot of the inconsistencies in the movies because like they don't make sense. The movies don't make sense, so they could use the TV show to explain that and retroactively make the movies
I don't
better.
care if they don't. It's good to see though that the world's progressed in such a way that it's like we've come to terms with the fact that these teen book movies are shit.
Yeah, dystopian.
Hunger Games
rubbish.
did it.
Vaguely okay.
Hunger Games did it.
Yeah.
They got out of the way.
They just did it first, you know. Like
Yeah, they were the ones they got their timing right. They did it first. It wasn't great, but they still did it.
yeah, they beat everyone to the punch and
And
managed
then-
to finish the series.
And then I think the best one there's been is probably like Maze Runner. I think the Maze Runner series did quite well.
Is that finished it?
I think we've got one more.
Okay.
I think we have Scottish Trials, and then there's one more book. If
Which is
not,
going straight to TV as well.
probably.
It's the way to go. TV
Oh,
is
yeah.
doing quite well at the moment, actually. I wonder if that's the reason. Because like Breaking Bad and stuff, they thought, you know what, screw the movies, we're gonna become a TV show
Well,
because there's money in that.
it gives you more time to It gives you more time to flesh it out. It gives you more time to sort of be like, oh well, these are the things that are actually happening. This is how we make it make sense, because we have 10 hours instead of 2.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
3 hours. Jesus, imagine that.
Ugh.
I'd cry.
Ugh. I'm crying just thinking about it now.
Well, at least we won't have to review it.
Yeah. I mean, we could as like a prank on April Fools or something like, oh, we're reviewing the entire.
Yeah, but then the joke's on us.
Exactly, yeah.
That's the
April Fool to us.
So yeah.
Kill us all.
Another thing we should probably talk about is news about. Well, it's not really news, it's just an update about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Okay.
James Gunn has come forward and said
That. Well, people were wondering why in the concept art that you may have seen of Guardians of the Galaxy 2, the Mantis, which is a new character to the team, wasn't green.
Yeah.
And he simply said on Twitter that she's not green because he wanted to do the classic Mantis that wasn't green.
Yeah, well, it's like why is Star-Lord look the way he does?
Because that's the way
Because
they
this
designed
comic
them.
wasn't particularly well known.
Yeah,
so
they have a lot of liberty.
like a lot of these people who are complaining that the Mantis isn't green will be people who've read the comics because they've seen
Yeah.
They've been
Why is
introduced
she
to it by
green?
Guardians.
Yeah, but then I guarantee you, as soon as this movie comes out, or like a month before the film comes out, the comics will change the Mantis to be the colour she is in the film.
Is she just
I think she's like, it's not so much white, but it's like off pink almost.
like grey, like...
Yeah, kind of like alien-y.
Yeah. Which would be cool.
Alien-y colour, maybe, I think.
Like Berit.
Yeah, exactly that kind of colour, yeah.
Yeah.
With her sort of antenna, and I think she has a tail, maybe, and like sort of like different
I think
eyes.
if she was green, she'd just look too sort of... Well, she's green.
Well, I mean, there's another Gamora and there's another Drax, because they're both green.
Yeah.
Like, how many green characters do you want on the team?
Drax is green, but he's not.
It's like a grey green.
Yeah. It's really like
with
toned
red.
down green.
Yeah. And then
Which
obviously Gamora is pretty much just full on like
she's
green screen green.
There's no fucking about from that. She is green.
Yeah. And then if they do add Yondu and Nebula to the team, they're both blue. So it's kind of like you've got 2 greens, 2 blues. You've now got to add in your pink, whatever Mantis or whatever colour she is. I don't know what colour. I have no idea. I think it's pink.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, she looks cool, and I think she's got like some kind of psychic powers or something.
She's pretty decent.
She can talk to plants, I think, maybe. So she might be able to talk to Groot as well, which would be interesting.
Oh yeah.
Which could be an interesting dynamic.
Could translate for Groot.
Yeah.
Maybe
you'll get a more acting role for Vin Diesel. Like, you could get like an inside of her head kind of speech. And then like, so it's like, I'm Groot. And then you suddenly hear what Mantis is hearing. And it's like, hello Mantis, you are looking rather cool today. How's your breakfast? Like,
Sam's a screenwriter.
I am a
screenwriter.
If you want to hire me, contact me at 0800 GFY or something.
Anyway, I'm almost done. We've only got 2 more things, which are fighting.
2 more things
to be the best star in the world.
Okay. Do tell.
Let's start with Star Wars. Basically, it's Star Trek and Star Wars. In case you didn't get. Oh, we're almost done. It's been 20 minutes.
It's been 20 minutes. I mean,
Jesus.
24 minutes. That's not too bad.
Jesus.
If it needs to be a short podcast, it can be a short podcast.
I mean, I suppose we could use this as a short podcast just to see whether or not this video works. Because if it doesn't, we'll just look foolish.
Foolish mortals.
But yeah.
Yes.
I'm really looking forward to food.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Food.
This isn't me trying to flesh out the podcast. I just thought about it then. I was like, oh, food. But yeah, we've had 2 bits of news from 2 separate Star Wars movies. So let's start off with the bit we can talk about at least. I mean, we'll probably be able to talk about this a bit, but so Star Wars Episode 8, which is out next year, 2017 release date.
December 2017, I think.
We'll take off straight after Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
Has this got a title yet?
No. Well, I think we're waiting on that. Okay. I think we might find out at some point this year.
Is D23?
D23 might be this year. Actually. Yeah, could be.
Because Sunday Comic Con's around about now, isn't it?
I think so, actually. Yeah,
SDCC is around now. Because I was looking on internet, IMDb.
Yeah.
And it was like, see Kevin Smith at SDCC. So I reckon it could be this weekend, but he's just there early because.
Yeah, I saw someone had taken a picture actually of like the Marvel setup, and it was like Doctor Strange, like just everywhere.
This is out.
Yeah,
this movie's coming out.
They're really pushing Doctor Strange, I think. So
yeah, we'll probably get a new trailer for that soon.
I hope so. Yeah, or like a leaked one from SDCC.
Yeah,
or
I'll keep my eye out for leaked things this year because I never really do, and I wish I did for Batman v Superman.
What kind of
like because they showed like a little bit of a trailer for Batman v Superman, and they also showed the bit where he like flies down and lands just before they fight.
Oh yeah.
He just the.
Yeah, I think.
Do you bleed?
Was it how it should have ended? Ended up reanimating it.
Yeah.
But then they start laughing at each other or something.
Yeah.
Is that right? I don't know.
Yeah, but it's that bit where he stood next to the bat signal.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Yeah, I mean it's always nice to see leaked stuff. I mean, it shouldn't be leaked.
But please, thank you for
thank you for you brave
it.
Souls going up against the like Marvel army,
going against the man,
the Disney army,
going against the man with the mustache and the mouse, Walt
mustache.
But But yeah, episode 3 will take off from where episode 8 will take off from where episode 7.
3 will pick up. It's
episode
like a
3
time
plus episode 3 plus 5 will be episode 8, and that will take place from episode 7.
Yes.
Maths.
This is interesting
It's different.
because if episode 1 takes place 10 years before episode 2.
Episode 1 takes place a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
Yeah.
Episode 2 takes place a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Episode 3 takes place
a while ago.
a long time ago.
Yes, very long.
Episode 4 takes place yesterday.
Episode 5 happens tomorrow.
5 is yet to happen.
Then 6 next week.
Next week? Yeah. And this time next week, we'll be talking about episode 6 of Star Wars.
Yes.
But yeah,
there's usually
like
like
time jumps.
Yeah, like so it'll be interesting because this one, from what he's saying, I think it's the director. It seems like it's the closing shot of episode 7 will then like fade back into like episode 8. Like, hello Rey.
Well, the thing is,
why are you holding that lightsaber up?
The production footage, the announcement of it going into production, was that scene.
Yeah,
and it was him directing it.
Mm.
But it wasn't the same scene.
Right.
It was like a redirection of that scene.
Okay.
If you remember correctly,
Well,
people were like putting comparisons side by side. So it was like, this shot's slightly different to this shot.
Yeah,
Like,
continuity.
so I think, I think I'm right, but I think that was just sort of like, everyone was like, oh, okay. But I think now, if you think about it, it's like, of course they're continuing on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it'd be such a shame to sort of begin episode 8 and be like, oh, Luke's been training Rey for 6 months now.
Yeah, Rey is a Jedi.
Yeah, you've
Rey's now wearing a
missed,
black.
like their introduction.
Rey's wearing black and has a green lightsaber.
Yeah.
We're not going to explain why or how.
Double-ended lightsaber. Please give Rey one of those.
Yeah, she should have a. What I wanted because the staff of the staff's got a name, hasn't it? It's like staff of.
Oh, I don't know.
What's Sidious's master called? What everyone thought.
Plagueis?
Yeah.
Is it?
Apparently that staff's called like the staff of Plagueis or
Really?
something.
Really?
Which was at San Diego Comic-Con last year.
Oh, right.
And it was like there, and it had like a little placard, and they moved the placard.
Oh.
They had to remove the placard for some reason.
Staff of Plagueis?
Which is like, it's cool. I'm glad it's not coming to effect, but I wanted that staff to like be what General Grievous's guards had.
Oh, right.
Like when I knew nothing about the movie and I just saw it with this staff, I wanted it to be that like double-ended like
purple
purple like
laser
lightning stuff.
Yeah.
That would have been cool.
That would have been interesting. But the thing is with that staff is if you look at like the sort of tips of it, it just looks like the end of Darth Maul's like thing. So that's what I thought, like she'd put a lightsaber in it or something and like
a long reach.
Yeah, and it'd be like basically
Get the fuck away!
Yeah, like a pole arm. Like, yeah. I don't know, they just never.
I've got a lightsaber.
The thing is with when Rey's fighting against Kylo Ren, if you watch what she's doing like pole arm moves, but with a lightsaber, which is crazy.
Cool.
Like she's like, when you like flip it around and then do like, she's doing that, which is amazing. Like
just on a smaller scale.
On a smaller scale, yeah, it's really sort of cool to.
Because I really like the fact that. Like she had this sort of fight style about her,
like
which now you've said like that's awesome. I need to watch all the behind the scenes stuff for Star Wars. I'm yet to own it. I don't own episode 7 yet, which is a crying shame.
Just got to wait for the trilogy box set.
Yeah,
wait
basically
4 or 5 more years.
Basically, but yeah, because I'm burning through the behind the scenes stuff on Star Wars. Like I love it all. I love like. There's something really satisfying to me. It's like an ASMR thing. I don't know what it is, but it's like seeing the lightsaber battles without the edits, where you hear like that. Just fucking like I love that shit. I'm like, yes, let me be a stuntman in this movie.
There's so much of that in the prequel trilogies though.
Yeah,
so much of that kind of behind the scenes.
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
It's just that.
Well, it's because the fighting style was more intense, so you had all this footage of like.
There's always that same video that people always link to, which is Obi-Wan and Anakin just like going back and forth constantly trying to get it picture perfect. Like,
is that the one that ends with like him catching Ewan McGregor's like thumb?
Maybe.
I think it's like it's definitely like that.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, he ends it. He's like, it's like, did I catch you? He's like, yep. Like, I'm sorry. He's like, no, it's fine. Let's go again.
Nice. Are they still friends? Are they like? Have they ever been? Has it ever been established that Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen,
like a Patrick Stewart, Ian McKellen relationship?
Because you think they would be.
Well, they spend a lot of time together.
Yeah, but at the same time, they also spend a lot of time away from each other. Because in those films, you just don't see Anakin and Obi-Wan together.
No,
they're supposed to be
enough.
like best mates.
Yeah,
that's one of the worst parts of the prequels. I think is not establishing their friendship enough.
Well, I think like it makes sense, but that end fight in 3 was so rehearsed, and it made sense for it to be rehearsed, but it looked over rehearsed.
Oh yeah.
Because it just looks like you know where.
Yeah. Like you're thinking about where the next thing's gonna land instead of like
the guy
actively trying to kill each other.
The guy who sort of directed all the stunt fighting and everything and that, he said something which was perfect for it because he went, I've choreographed this fight that every move is the only place you can go.
Oh right.
So it's like when you're there, the only place you can then go is there, and like
yeah.
So when you're trying to block a move, you have to go there, or it doesn't make sense. Like
yeah.
Which is cool, but it also just looks like there's no danger here because they're just both like, ah.
Yeah, I mean, there's always.
But the bit where they stop fucking doing this shit, it's like, why? Just stop.
I mean, I like. A lot of people hate that bit, but I kind of.
It looks awesome.
I weirdly appreciate that part because you sort of come to this understanding that these two people have trained, or supposedly had trained together for like years, and they both would understand each other enough to know their fighting skills. Mm-hmm. So you get to this sort of like this infinite point
where they've both just got the same.
Yeah, exactly. They're just doing the exact same thing, so you're never going to make contact because you just. Which is it? Yeah, it's silly, but at the same time, it's kind of like wow, they're so.
Yeah, that was.
In
I think that was something that the stunt coordinator also said. Like, it was like these guys are like equally matched.
It's like basically fighting a mirror version of yourself. Like, how do you?
So that bit is them both doing it just.
Yeah.
Mirrored.
Yeah. You've reached your climax sort of thing. Like. Never sort of.
But yeah, it's
singularity is the word I was trying to find. It's like a singularity.
Yeah.
You've got to like the explode. I don't know.
But yeah, I really like the difference between Rey's fight style of having that sort of experience of being combat ready with a stick.
Yeah.
And like Finn's where he's just hacking.
Yeah.
He's literally just like
what do I do?
He's fighting just with weight behind everything.
Yeah.
Which just like makes sense to his character. I hope he gets some kind of training with a lightsaber.
I'm sure he will. Or like I feel like he's going to be the blaster guy, right? Because that's what he was trained for.
Yeah.
So like, and supposedly.
But it'd be cool to see him pick up like a traitor, like.
Oh yeah.
See him get one of those.
That'd be sick.
Is that like an arm thing? Is that like a shield for your arm that you can also spin around and like?
It's just like like the police have, which is
like a baton.
Yeah, like that kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, if that bit wasn't, that's
but
terrible.
It spins.
Yeah, it just spins. So you just hold on to the handle. It's not some. I mean, I guess it is a shield.
If you could lock, like, it would be cool if they explain like you can lock it and like then he's like using the arm to like shield things.
The thing is with Finn,
whilst having a blast.
I feel like Finn might get some like cybernetic upgrades or something because he sliced his back.
Yeah.
So we might get like a bionic spine or something. He'll be a bit more badass in that sense.
Yeah. Because
he's gonna turn into Cyborg.
He was a really cool character.
From the Teen Titans. Yeah.
But yeah.
That'd be cool. I hope he gets like an upgraded. I hope he like has the Stormtrooper armor, but they decide to sort of upgrade it for him.
Yeah.
Like, you're a rebel, but we're gonna give you like a cool.
Like even if he just had like a shoulder plate or something.
Yeah.
As part of his just like.
To show, like, just to make his character a bit like distinct, like because he's got Poe Dameron's jacket, but like, you can't wear that for the whole thing. Can you?
I mean, it was like Luke even got an upgrade from the white sort of drapes.
Yeah, exactly. Like obviously in Episode 6, he's got like black costume.
Yeah,
like,
he's got a Luke Skywalker costume. Han's costume changed. It didn't change a lot, but it's still
recognisable enough.
Signature look.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it's because he's got the long sleeve one in Episode 5.
Yeah.
Empire's.
Because obviously it makes sense for the environment that he's in, kind of thing.
But yeah, even when he's in Cloud City, he's still got the long sleeve like
thing,
which looks really cool. And then Lando wears it
at the end.
And
then Brian.
No one
Brian Griffin's there. Just
seriously,
watch this scene.
Go watch the scene.
He's wearing Han's clothes.
What? I just love the fact he's like, all right, let's go, Chewie. He's like, why are you wearing Han's clothes?
And it just turns to the audience like, seriously, like, watch this in the movie.
I love the fact that someone noticed that. Like, it makes me appreciate like that whole trilogy that Family Guy did because they're such massive fans of it.
Yeah.
That was a really nice appreciation.
But they were. I feel like they were there. Like they had like a page of jokes to make about Han's clothes, but then they were just like, no, we'll just tell the audience to go check it out. It's just funnier.
It just stares you straight in the face, like,
yeah,
why are you wearing Han's clothes?
Like, why? Maybe that's like the flight suit of the Falcon. I don't know. It's not, is it? Obviously.
I don't know.
Why would you need a flight suit?
Do you reckon we're gonna get any What was Lando's name? Billy D. Williams.
Billy
D. Williams. Do you reckon we're gonna get any Billy D. Williams? Pop in. Funeral for Han.
Yeah.
Says a eulogy. Fucks off.
Well, because people have been saying like, oh, it would make sense because he appeared in episode 5, so he should appear in episode 8.
Mm-hmm.
If they do go into more politics in the next film, which is like, I actually kind of hope they do, because the previous one felt like it was missing some of that. Like I didn't understand what was going on in the universe. Like
the prequel trilogy had nowhere near enough politics.
There was too much.
Yeah, it had nowhere near enough anything else.
Yeah, but it was all politics.
It was just all politics.
Like you could do a word count of like the words. It'd be like the top one is senator and law and all this stuff. Like what?
Queen. Like fuck off.
Like oh god.
No, the most spoken word's probably like sand.
Probably.
He just keeps talking about that fucking
sand.
I just love the sand people. I hate the sand. That's why he killed the sand people.
Yeah,
because he doesn't like sand.
Yeah, that's why.
It's the perfect trilogy.
That's why Obi-Wan left Luke on Tatooine, because Vader was never going to go near sand.
Because he was like, not sand planet. Nope.
Someone else check it. Fucking nope. What were we saying?
No can Tatooine.
No can.
He's just like, nope. Skip.
Oh yeah, and then like, but the original trilogy had enough of politics.
Yeah.
To explain, like you didn't even need to know too much about it. You just knew that the Empire was evil. They were doing their thing. The rebels were trying to fight against them because the Empire was oppressive. The prequels, there was too much politics. There was like,
yeah,
like, oh, we're doing all this stuff because you had to try and. I understand why it was there, because George Lucas was trying to get us to where the politics were in the original trilogy. So maybe he overcomplicated it, obviously. But
yeah, I feel like he cut scenes elsewhere that he should have cut.
Yeah.
During the politics bit.
Because he was probably like, well, if we cut this politics scene, then how does it explain this? And like, no one cared.
No.
And then the sequel trilogy didn't have enough politics. It was just like, oh, well, the Empire's back, I guess, and the rebels are doing their thing still, and they blew up a cluster of planets that were apparently political or something.
I don't know, mate.
So
I got no idea.
I think episode 8 might be a bit more political, and then they can bring in Lando.
Yeah,
who's
it'd be
now
cool
become
if,
like a counselor or something.
Or even if he just shows up and is like, just stop fighting!
God damn it!
Son of a bitch!
And then he's like, hey, Leia.
But maybe we'll get...
Alright, Leia, you single now. Like,
hey.
How you... What was it he says when he first meets Leia? I can't remember.
No, I mean...
He like kisses her hand. Like, how you doing, girl?
It says that. Those exact words. I'd love that. But yes, stick with Star Wars. There's been a new poster for Rogue One.
Yeah. It's very sort of Siege of Normandy kind of thing.
Well, yeah, it reminds me of the...
Is it Normandy? Is it D-Day was Normandy?
It
looked like D-Day.
We don't do history.
They're just storming a beach, basically. And you can see like the Death Star in the background. And it looks cool.
Yeah, because it reminded me of the fan posters that came out for 7. They all had like a recurring like word on them. Right. So I'm going to try and find out what that was. Aftermath.
Aftermath.
Do you remember these?
Oh, right, yeah.
Do you remember those ones?
Yeah, you sort of see like...
Just
there you go.
But yeah, it was always like the Millennium Falcon like being shot down.
Yeah.
And like,
that kind of
which they sort of used in the film. Like you had the Imperial starships, like But yeah, it was very reminiscent to that one. I thought with like the Death Star like in the background, But yeah, I really like it. I think it's really cool.
Yeah. It's sort of, I think it hopefully is setting the tone for a bit of a darker kind of, like, this is gritty war. We're doing whatever it takes to get this sort of the details of the Death Star so we can save everyone.
I'm just going.
But I mean, at the end of the day, it's just a poster. I mean, you can't really tell much.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
you've
a
got
marketing team doing the best they can with what they have, probably. So.
Well, you've got the sort of Death Star, but it doesn't look like it's actually there. It's sort of like faded in.
Yeah, well, as if it's like really close to the to the. To the
it's either really close to the planet, or it's just like I don't know.
Yeah,
it's weird, but yeah, you've also got the TIE fighters.
Yeah.
Out ahead, and this looks like it's going to be the planet where they are like running across the sand on.
Yeah. I mean, they've even announced there's stormtroopers called shore troopers.
Okay.
Which is always good.
Well, there's also the
shore troopers. Yeah.
There's also the Death Troop.
Yeah, there's Death Troopers as well.
Which is supposed to be the most like.
Yeah, I think there's 3 new troopers introduced. It was Shore, Death, and I can't remember what the other ones were, but
Grass
troopers.
Grass troopers.
Yeah.
I'm a grass trooper.
Or like knee deep wading in water troopers.
Wellington troopers. Wellington booters.
Yes, it's definitely
the storm booters. We could do this for hours. We could just
say environments,
different,
put
and troopers on the end.
Yeah. Light bush meadow trooper.
The Walmart troopers. They will go to Walmart. That's for you in America. That joke. Ooh. We'd say Asda, but you say Walmart.
We'd say Asda.
Asda price.
I'll get down Asda.
Asda price.
You on?
I've closed down the list of things I have.
That is outrageous.
So, but yeah, it looks. I think it looks really cool. It looks like it's going to set up this sort of military movie.
Yeah.
That everyone's hoping for.
That's what we need. To add to that, whilst you're very quickly getting at that stuff, someone leaked the Star Wars Celebration trailer for the movie for Rogue One.
Okay.
I mean, it was very blurry and like very far away from the screen, but it just sort of added to the tone. It was a bit sort of dark, and then at the end you heard. So you got your Darth Vader.
We got a little Darth-y.
Bit of Dorothy. Dorothy?
Got a bit of Dorothy in Star Wars.
She's going to make her appearance.
The name of this video?
Her debut.
Dorothy in Star Wars.
Dorothy in Star Wars.
Dorothy Vader.
Sounds like a highlight tile.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway. Moving
on. So we're moving on to Star Trek now.
Yeah.
So this is basically all news about Star Trek 4, which they've announced. That's part of the news.
Yay? Question mark?
Yeah.
We did say.
Yeah.
We said before, like, I wonder if they'll do a 4th one because they're trying to discount. They're trying to say that the second one didn't exist.
Yeah. Well, I just wondered whether or not they'd just leave it as a trilogy, like, but
yeah.
Because they'll never release. It will never be released as Star Trek Beyond, Star Trek 4. You'll always have Star Trek Into Darkness in there.
Maybe you never know. You never
I
know.
hope, like, it would be cool if they did.
It would be hilarious if
they just were like, no, fuck you, Khan.
It doesn't exist. Like, fuck you, Benedict.
But it was, it's cool. It's cool that they're doing it.
Yeah.
Have you heard anything about this?
Not much. I don't know.
So basically, I've written Christ. But I mean Chris.
That was a little stomach that you just saw there. I didn't mean to do that. I was just like rearranging my top.
Do you remember when we were setting this up and you were like, yeah, it'll look cool if like this corner of the table's in it and like it's like basically touching the top of our heads. Forgot to check that before we started recording, didn't we?
Yeah. Outrage.
We
the
can move
framing's
it.
off. The film
we
buffs.
don't know what it looks like. Like that's real delayed and jaggedy. Yeah. I hope this is bearable. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I
mean, if it was unbearable, you probably haven't made it this far in to receive this sorry, but you might.
You're welcome.
Say hi if you've made it this far.
Say Christ Hemsworth if you made it. If you made it this far.
It pretty much is Christ Hemsworth.
So yeah. Anyway, Chris Hemsworth is going to star in episode 4.
Yeah, this is an interesting one. I've actually have heard a little bit about this, but yeah.
I think J.J. Abrams put a quote out saying this will bring Chris Pine together with Chris Hemsworth, who we never got to meet.
His dad.
Who is his papa. Who everyone sort of forgets about.
Yes, Chris Hemsworth played his dad.
George Kirk.
Yeah, for the first 5 minutes of the very first Star Trek film of the reboot.
Yeah, where they do the whole, what should we name him? Tiberius? What about James? And then his name becomes James Tiberius Kirk.
Yeah.
I don't know why I remember that. That's a really weird thing to remember. Especially Tiberius.
Yeah. And then he dies. Then he dies.
Then he dies. after his wife escapes.
Which is where the timelines split, and then you get your original series back in the 60s, and then you get your new.
Is that actually where the timeline splits?
Yeah, the timeline splits because Spock comes back in time. So if you imagine it like the original series happens, all of the other series happens, and then there's Spock right at the end, goes back in time, being chased by Nero or whatever his name was, and then it goes back to before the original, what's his name? Kirk was born, and then it fucks it all up.
Oh.
And that's where the timeline splits.
Oh, I probably knew that if I'd watched Star Trek recently.
Yeah, it's technically canon because it's still in the same universe. It's not a reboot.
Yeah,
it's just
because you've
the
still got
timeline
Spock.
yeah, so Kirk happens earlier, sort of thing.
It's going to be sad there not being like a Spock cameo in these anymore.
Yeah, it is a bit of a shame.
Because, I mean, I always like that. I like the fact that he was willing to come back and do it.
Leonard Nimoy was a cool guy.
He was.
He's a cool guy. But I don't know how I feel about this, because this almost feels like, oh, Chris Hemsworth was in our universe, and he's now a big-time actor. Let's use him in the sequel!
Yeah, basically.
Because everything in Star Trek has to be about time travel for some reason. Whereas in, like, I don't know... Star Trek wasn't always about time travel.
Apparently the new one's really good because it's like one mission they have to go off and do. That is like escalated just by things happening, but it is still just this one mission.
Yeah.
And apparently they spend the whole time focusing on this mission.
Oh,
so I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's
cool.
out tomorrow.
I might be out today or tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Today or tomorrow. But yeah, I'm intrigued to...
Yeah, we'll probably watch it next week and put a review up of that. We were going to do a watch along, but we were quite busy over the weekend.
Yes, so we're busy men.
Sadly not. And by that I mean I'm busy.
Yeah, I'm just doing it.
You could watch it if you want to.
I could just
give it a watch.
If anyone's interested in
listen to me watching.
To me watching the original Star Trek, just like, wow, that was a good scene.
Yeah, I wish Noel was here.
That's Chris Hemsworth.
But yeah, there's another quote who I think's by J.J. Abrams.
Why is he still like what?
Because it's his franchise, but he's just not directing it, so he's producing it.
Yeah, because it's just like everything about Star Trek at the moment is just like J.J. Abrams said this. Like, fuck off.
But yeah, it's going to be.
It's good to have people
controlling
the content.
What did he say? He said, in this next installment of the epic space adventure, Chris Pine's Captain Kirk will cross paths with a man he never had the chance to meet, but whose legacy has haunted him since the day he was born. His father, played by Hemsworth.
It's got to be time travel then, right?
Yeah, basically. They're gonna do some sort of time jump.
Chris meets Chris.
Too many Chris's in all the universe.
I'm honestly indifferent to this, to be honest.
I think it would depend on how sort of 3 ends.
Yeah.
Like,
I wonder if 3 would end like, I wish I knew my father. Cut to black.
Because that's part of the...
To be continued.
Part of the trailer is like, my father joined the Enterprise. My father joined Starfleet to prove himself. I joined Starfleet as a bet or something. Something along those lines.
Yeah, something like that.
But yeah.
On a dare, was it?
Yeah.
Or something. Yeah. It was probably a bet, actually. Yeah.
I think it was a dare, actually. I think dare sounds better in my head.
Yeah.
If it's not...
But the reason I said dare was because I was thinking back to Age of Ultron, where Tony Stark's like, I once hacked into the Pentagon on a dare. Or something like...
Nice.
Yeah, maybe it was there. I can't remember.
But yeah. And then... Continuing on with that, they've decided that they're not going to replace the guy who played Chekhov. What's his name? I've forgotten.
It escapes me, his name.
Do a quick Google. That's bad.
But yeah, this is a good choice on their part, because I think it would have been really disrespectful to replace the actor, just because obviously he died.
Yeah, because it's a pretty sort of caricatured character, so I think they could have. But I'm glad they haven't.
Yeah, it's respectful.
Anton Yelchin.
Yeah.
Or Yelkin.
And so it's interesting because they actually just straight up admitted, like, he's not going to be replaced, but
we don't know
what to do with him.
Yeah.
Like, we don't know how to sort of handle the character. So I think we were going to sort of have a mini discussion about what they could do with his character. I mean, there aren't really that many options, to be honest.
They're probably going to have to kill him off. Like,
do you think?
Probably.
I think this is my idea.
Okay.
It's not my idea.
Maybe they have to go and get him. Maybe he's the one who gets lost, and they spend the whole time looking for him.
What, and then they don't find him?
And then they time travel, and then find Chris Pratt's.
Well, and just completely forget about the
No, they don't forget, but they find out that he's, like, not there. Or whatever.
Yeah. Well, I mean...
That'd be cool.
I saw a cool suggestion that was, what if in, like, sort of just an offhanded, you know, just like a throwaway line, just establishes that he's been promoted and now is captaining his own ship. That's why he's not there. Because, like, he's an engineer.
The SS.
Yeah.
SS.
So he can get promoted and do his own thing. And it'd just be nice. And, like, maybe you could even have a screen, like, a picture of him or whatever, and, like, the background, like, oh, the Enterprise, and then you've got a picture of Kirk, and you've got the SS and whatever.
Yeah,
and then a picture of him, and, like, this is our fleet, like...
I hope they don't try and do, like, a CG, like, Paul Walker thing.
Well, where they're, like, driving down space
No.
at the end, and then Kirk pulls his window down. And it's just him and his other, like, Enterprise goes off on a different star road or something.
But we'll venture where no man has ever gone before.
Yeah.
And then
Space, the final frontier. Space, the final frontier. I can't remember the theme.
it would have been really cool if he said that at the end, like if they had like
If they had a recording of him saying,
Yeah,
that would have been amazing.
that would have been insane.
Space. I can't do his accent.
Not an accent,
Space. The final frontier.
They got better. To begin with, it was like stereotypical like wedding planner.
Yeah.
that was what I was getting from that.
The final frontier.
Oh, yes. But yeah, he was very good at it.
Yeah.
Because he basically just did what the guy before him did.
Yeah.
But like added his own sort of thing to it.
That's why I really like. I like kind of just. I mean, I haven't seen it enough, but like the first Star Trek film is like weirdly cool to me because of the premise of like it being. It's literally the same characters, but like in a skewed timeline.
Yeah.
And that's really interesting to me, and I really.
They even done to Scotty being like on his own planet, like.
Yeah, like I just
Get down.
I just wish that they had just decided, or will at some point do like, we'll do the Patrick Stewart people now,
Yeah.
and then recast that.
McAvoy.
And that'd be fantastic.
It would be cool, like. Yeah.
Just updating, like I don't know why I enjoy that so much, but it's just the idea of like,
It's
everything
not a
happened
reboot.
a bit earlier.
It's a different.
Yeah, it's almost like a what if. Like,
Yeah.
what if his dad died earlier than he should have and he was made into a Starfleet guy younger or whatever? I don't really understand.
Yeah, I don't know what the continuity of the
Yeah.
original series was.
Yeah. But it's just sort of that kind of what if scenario,
Yeah.
which are always fun kind of
It'd be
things.
really cool if they could get.
I mean, I say they're always fun, but Shrek the Fourth.
I was literally
is
last
not
night.
fun.
Last night I was watching Shrek the Third.
Oh, right.
I was like, this is really good.
Yeah. Is it?
I really enjoy Shrek the
I actually
Third.
watched it the other
Shrek
day
the
as
Third's
well.
not too bad,
Because they're all on Netflix. I watched
Yeah.
Shrek 2, 3 and
except
4.
for the first one.
Well, apart from the first one, yeah.
which is sad.
I actually watched Puss in Boots as well.
Oh, that's not bad. It's not a terrible
That
movie.
one is probably better than the rest of them, I think. Well, not better than Shrek 2, but better
Yeah,
than
Shrek
3
3.
and 4.
Yeah.
4 I had never seen, so it was
Well,
my first time.
that's
And
same.
It was just
I'd watched up to do the
abysmal.
roar, and then I was like, okay, I'll let it go. That's all I wanted to say.
Oh, right.
But did you notice in Shrek 3 they like mention Rumpelstiltskin and speak to him?
Yeah, and he was like completely different.
Yeah.
He looks completely
And that
different.
really annoyed. That got on my tits like so much.
You've established the character. Like,
I was like really. I went and googled. I did a side by side comparison. I was like, fuck this.
yeah.
Fuck this film.
Well, because all the characters in Shrek film, like all the human characters in Shrek films are just like generic Sims characters.
Yeah.
So like they shot themselves in the foot by not designing him for the third film, and then they put him in the fourth one. Like, oh, he's different now. Like,
Because he even sounds different.
yeah.
Like
Because obviously they got like a
they
big time-
probably
like
got
a
named
star
after. I'm
actor
gonna
or
find out
whatever.
if they got to play him, but
But I know what you mean. Yeah, I actually noticed that as well, and it was sort of it was very jarring almost.
yeah.
And like the whole premise of Shrek 4 is so forced. It's unreal. Like, oh, they almost signed
But
a
it
contract.
it makes sense. Like, yeah, that the parent side of it is so fucking forced.
Because like the whole thing is like you've established at the start of the film that once upon a time the parents were going to sign a contract, but they didn't because right at the
this
last
guy's
moment.
not even famous. The guy they got to do.
No.
he's only been in like DreamWorks. He's in Trolls. He's been in Shrek apparently he was in Shrek the Third and Shrek 2.
Is he just like the lead animator that just happens to have a good acting voice? So they just hire him for cheap.
He's best known for Rumpelstiltskin in Shrek Forever After.
Oh.
So why not just get the guy who played Rumpelstiltskin? Because he didn't do anything like...
No.
Did he sing a song? I've not watched it all, but it wasn't like he had it.
I don't think he did too much. He was just a bit crazy at times. That's all. The film was just bizarre. The whole film is just like...
What, Shrek 4?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It might as well just be a fever dream. Because Shrek...
Because it just goes back to normal at the end of it.
Yeah, because you know the bit where he... Did you see up to the point where he's like screaming at everyone like... Ah! And then he like smashes the cake.
Yeah, after
like,
they do the... Yeah.
Yeah. It's... The film ends like...
Back there.
So after the reality has gone back to normal, it cuts back to then him going... Ah! And now he has his new experiences. So, like, basically nothing changed. So, he's pissed off, he goes, "Brrr!" And then, to everyone else, he suddenly has a complete attitude change and is like, I love you guys! And they're like, woo! And that's it. That's the end of the film. He just learns to appreciate...
So he just doesn't smash the cake, is basically...
Exactly, yeah.
It's basically the big change in that scene.
Exactly, yeah.
What a piece of shit.
And now they've announced that they're doing a fifth film
but
in 2019.
I feel like they're doing a fifth one off the back of Shrek 4 was terrible.
Yeah. I hope so. Hopefully this one will be
They've got to know, because they started doing spin-offs and stuff.
Yeah. It'll be a return to form, hopefully. Like, oh, remember Shrek 2 and how good that was? This is our...
Well, Shrek 3 is not terrible. I'm standing by that. Because it's really not that bad. What happens after they get Prince Arthur? I stopped watching, but what happened?
It's terrible, man!
Is it bad after that?
You can't say a film is
bad
good.
after that?
Yeah!
Okay.
Like, the princesses, like, do some, like, vaguely interesting stuff where they, like, break out of prison.
Why are they in prison?
Because
I got to the school where and then like Shrek picks him up, takes him out.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, I'm going to bed. I've had enough.
So then Shrek goes to like the school assembly and he's like, Arthur, you're king.
Yeah.
And then King Arthur's
he's like, he makes a big speech.
Yeah, and he's like, you're all assholes.
Yeah, right.
And then they like sail back and then Shrek reveals
they
to
go
him,
to like a magic hut or something.
Yes, it's Merlin.
Merlin, okay, yeah.
And
what's he do?
he like transports them to the kingdom. But at some point Arthur finds out that Shrek was the next in line.
Yeah.
But he wanted Arthur to do it.
Yeah.
But like when he finds that out, instead of Shrek being like, but I think you should do it, like,
I'm an ogre.
yeah, Shrek just breaks and he's like, oh, well, fuck you, I just don't want to do it, you do it. And then like it completely kills the character of Shrek. And it's like, up to that point, Shrek was nice and cool to Arthur, and then it's like Arthur finds out that he lied to him. And for some reason, Arthur gets really pissed off that he lied that he wants him to be king instead of Shrek.
Well, when they first meet, he goes, is there nobody else? And he goes, nope, you're the one.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, well, why did he care so much about that little lie? And then
you're gonna be king.
Yeah.
Embrace it.
Yeah, exactly.
Is he even king in the third one?
Well, in the
fourth one?
In the fourth one,
do they even?
They like travel to far, far away. And they land at the castle, and I'm like, oh, there's going to be a cameo of like Justin Timberlake. Like as Arthur.
Back on
he never shows up.
Why is there? Why
there.
did they go there?
I don't know.
I need to watch these movies again.
They literally go to far,
really
far away
to
then go into an interior shot of some building where they eat cake and have a laugh, and that's it.
Who?
The Shrek family and everyone. So they go to far, far away.
Oh, okay.
And then they go into...
That's where Lillian like meets the mother.
Did
you know?
Yeah.
Did you catch on to the fact? I knew because I was watching Shrek 3 last night.
Right.
When the king's dying, he turns to her and goes, Lillian. Her name's fucking Lily, isn't it? Because he's a frog.
Yeah.
That's like that was massive to me. I lost my shit over that.
Yeah.
I was like Lily and the frog.
They actually give the dragon a name as well.
It's
just, I think so, and it's just been dragon the whole time. But then Shrek says to alternate universe donkey, like, "Oh, you love Verda or something." I don't know. I can't remember.
Dragon.
I think that happened. But the thing, the other thing that killed Shrek for me was the whole like, there was the joke of. I don't know, but it's just because I've watched it on Netflix recently.
I love it. Yeah, same.
But
I'm glad you did.
It's just. The joke was, oh, Donkey flirts with the dragon so they can get away with it. at the end of the first one, and then the dragon comes back at the end to give them a lift back to the
and
castle.
they fall in love.
Yeah, and then the second one ends with the joke of, oh, they have kids.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny.
Where have you been? I've been away, honey.
Yeah. The third one then has to pick up on the fact that Donkey and Dragon actually had kids.
Well, yeah.
And it just becomes weird.
No, because you see the kids in 3.
Yeah, but it's just weird. It's a funny joke at the end of number 2 that then becomes a plot point in the third one. And it's just like, oh, they actually had kids. Like, what the hell?
There's a funny bit in 3 where he goes, like Shrek finds out he's having kids and he goes, how did this happen? And Shrek goes, Puss in Boots goes, when a man and a woman love each other very much. It's like, I know how it happened, but why did it happen to me? And then Donkey goes,
how did it
how
happen?
does it happen?
It's like, you have children.
Like, but that was kind of funny because I was like, but seriously, how did that happen?
Yeah, how did it happen? Like, good God.
But yeah,
it's just bizarre.
I mean, we've probably hopefully gone over an hour.
Yeah, we have. We somehow, we actually just padded till an hour, which we said we wouldn't do, but we actually did. Unintentionally.
It came naturally.
Yeah.
So yeah, for more Shrek stuff, let us know in the comments what you want to hear us talk about.
Yeah.
Which is
we'll
only Shrek.
angrily discuss more things.
I'll put Shrek in the thumbnail.
Yeah.
Just because we have a big Shrek discussion.
Yeah. It'll be Shrek, Chekhov, and I don't know.
Yeah, Chekhov and probably like maybe a Pokemon.
Yeah.
Try to get those Pokemon Go.
Or Inspector Pokemon. Inspector Pikachu or something.
Pikachu, yeah, maybe.
I'll give it a thought.
I've still got the list, so all is well.
Yeah, thank you very much for listening. Leave a comment below if you want to have us discuss something. Leave a like maybe. Subscribe if you want. And thank you very much. Cheers.